Hey everybody, welcome back. I know it's been a while since my last video, and I apologize, but I think primarily life has been getting in the way. One of the projects I've been working on recently is a HeroClix map, 3D map project, and I had been working on that at the store, but the store has gotten really busy this time of year. Things tend to pick up as we get closer and closer towards the holiday season, which I know still seems like it's a ways off, but these are the way the trends in the retail business go. So anyway, it's a good thing because it means I don't have a lot of free time at the store because we have customers, and that's great. The other thing going on at the store is our Warhammer 40,000 League, ever since 6th edition came out, has really gone gangbusters, and so that means lots more people coming in the store and lots more activity, which means less time or ability for me to do projects at the store. So I actually brought that project back here to the shop so that I could work on it here, which I haven't yet done yet, but I'm planning to. So that explains the absence of that. The other thing is just that I've been trying to just complete projects because the video process does tend to get in the way of getting, and I've said this many times before, but shooting video does tend to make it more difficult to get a project done because instead of just painting, you are also shooting, and that does, well, it just slows things down. But so since I have been getting some projects done, I figured I would go ahead and show you what I've been doing recently, and you can kind of see where I am and see the projects that I'm working on, because I actually have one big project that is finished, and that is more Doom minis. If you remember, I think my last video was revolving around old Reaper Doom minis, and that project went well enough that I got another commission for more of them. And then I worked on something for myself. As some of you may remember, I am working on my own Chaos Space Marine army for playing with the new cool 6th edition rules. So I have a new edition for that, and actually that project is going a little slower than I might like, but that's probably partially because I think one of the worst kept secrets in the game industry right now is the fact that Games Workshop is just about to release some new Chaos Space Marine stuff, including a new codex in hardback, if the rumors are true, along with including Chaos Space Marines in the new box set. So with all that in mind, I'm trying to keep my Chaos Space Marine purchases to a minimum, and primarily just those things that I know they're unlikely to change. Things like the plastic Marines themselves, they're not going to change that anytime soon. Well, I did a Demon Prince and a Rhino. Again, Rhino's not likely to change anytime soon. But I'm not adding a lot of other things. And then on top of that, my current commission project is yet another Chaos Space Marine army. That means I'm doing two at the same time. And this one's for a friend, and he wanted to do, whereas mine is Black Legion, he wants his to be Slaanesh, I think it's Angels of Ecstasy, so we're talking pink and black, which is awesome. It was actually my recommendation of, he had a number of possible schemes that he wanted to go with, and that was, as soon as I saw that, I was like, how could we not do pink and black? That would be awesome. That would be great. In fact, I started feeling like maybe I should have done this with mine instead of Black Legion. But I'm not going to second guess myself, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. So, anyway, let me get to the projects on the table. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Alright, so this is the Arachnotron, also known as the Spider Demon. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It's pretty nasty looking. He is, of course, sitting amongst the what you call it. These are Khorne Berserkers that I'm working on for the current Chaos Space Marine army. Not mine, but the commission one. So yeah, that's this is pretty cool. I haven't seen one of these in, well, it's been a long time. It's heavy too. It's like, you know, solid lead-based metal. So that's that, and then we've got the Pain Elemental with the weird skull inside his mouth. This is another cool, interesting mini. And similar to that, oops, is the Cacodemon. I think I'm going to... So that's the Cacodemon in Pain Elemental. Great big balls of fun. And then we have the Pinkies. I think these were just really officially called demons, but they've been referred to as Pinkies forever. I love the color on these guys. Thought it came out really nice. I still feel like I'm learning the new washes. One thing I liked about the old washes is that I felt like it was impossible to do wrong with them because they didn't have too much pigment, so you could really kind of just slather it on and not worry about it. And that is not really true with the new ones. On the other hand, since they have a lot of pigment in them, there are things that you can do with them that you couldn't really do easily with the others. And like, for example, with these guys, you know, sort of create some pretty serious contrast just using the washes. So you know, the deepest shadows on these Barons of Hell are all done primarily with repeated applications of the Crimson, what is that one called? See if I can find it up here on the shelf. Carroburg Crimson. That one's actually extremely dark, or can be extremely dark. The other thing I did here is you'll notice the weird green hands, and the Barons of Hell would throw sort of this evil green stuff at you, and so that is sort of mimicking the unearthly glow that was always on their hands. Did that with the airbrush, with the new airbrush. I can't remember what this guy is called, but I did one with the other set as well, and I think he turned out pretty good, but all I really tried to do is match the last one that I did. And this is the Revenant, and I definitely like that, how that guy came out. Interestingly, the reds, essentially on his pants and all the way up his spine, it looks like it's sculpted as pants here. You can just kind of see where the seam line is between the pants and the hip bone. And so I wanted to create something that still followed the look of the mod, or the look of the sprite, which is essentially all that is red, but also differentiated between sort of the red of his spinal area and hips and the pants. So the pants are a little paler, and the spinal area is a little more blood red. And this is the Heavy Weapon Dude. That is actually what he was called, Heavy Weapon Dude. Not much to say about him. His flesh tones are really based on the same kind of coloration as on this guy. And he's primarily red in tone for his armor, and I think I used the Mephiston red, and I think that's a good guess, primarily because that's become my new favorite go-to red for pretty much everything. So I think that one turned out really well, and I'm happy with it. And then you've got your standard Zombie Private. with M16 and bullet holes and creepy redness. Again, happy with how that came out, but he's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, not much going on there. And this guy was a little bit more challenging, and that was my own fault. I originally had him, I did washes, he started brown, but then I did washes of Athonian Camo Shade, which is really sort of a green brown, and he came out too green. And although I liked it, and it sort of matched the sprites that I found for him, in reality he should definitely be more brown and not really green. So what I ended up doing, was using, which one was it? Reikland Flesh Shade, which has a lot of red in it, sort of a red-brown, and I used that to sort of tint the green back toward the brown. And I think that worked out, and I get something that really closely matches the sprite. So definitely happy with that. So that was the new Doom project. And then here it was the personal project. This is, and I'm going to have to back off a little, aren't I? That is my Demon Prince. Let's see if we can get the camera where I want it. Get down there. Oh, I know what to do here. Let's, there we go. That helps. So, with this one, I wanted to feel more like the Space Marine armor was transforming fully into flesh as opposed to just being armor. So there's a lot more red poking throughout, and some of it's going to be a little bit more subtle than you can catch on this, but I think this is a good example on the back here. A lot more red poking through the black, and sort of smooth transitions between the red and the black. And what I ended up needing to do with this was starting with red, so he was pretty much red throughout to begin with, and then I used the airbrush to move to black. But that was actually, I did that after using the Carroburg Crimson to do the shadow areas, right? So just the areas that were going to go fairly dark, and primarily the areas that were going to be difficult, if not impossible, to really hit with the airbrush. But I didn't do the whole thing that way because you don't get a smooth enough transition using the washes. So the airbrush sort of takes care of that, and you go in and you just sort of darken and layer the red until you get where you want that to go. Now with the sword, I wish there was a good way. Hey, let me see if I can change the lighting a little bit here. That's probably a better look at the sword, even though the whole thing just got darker. So the sword started with yellow, so I could make sure that I got the runes, the bright yellow that I wanted them to be. Then I very carefully painted the whole thing red, except for the runes. Then I was able to use that Carroburg Crimson again, but I just dotted it in carefully to really give it sort of that molten metal look, you know, as if the whole thing was just the sword was containing an immense amount of heat, and so it's just sort of rippling throughout, and you know, it's really hot at the tip and it's really hot at the runes, but it's cooler in temperature in various other spots of the sword. So that's how that turned out, and if I can get a good photo of that later on that I will, and hopefully you'll get a better look at that. Maybe I can also adjust the focus here. Nope, that's not doing it. No, I think I was fine where I was overall. So yeah, that I didn't mean to spend a lot of time yesterday working on this, but sometimes you know, you get inspired and you want to you want to work with that inspiration and just go, and that's what I did. And like the rest of my army, I've got cork on the base, sort of standing in for broken concrete, and that's really been working out for me. I really like how that works, and so yeah, that worked out pretty well. So, and as you can see, the assembly of the berserkers is underway. These guys actually require an unusual amount of cleaning. It's like it's not the best mold that they have, and so there's a bit of shift to it, which means that you have fairly prominent mold lines that need to be removed, which is unfortunate, but it does happen. And that's why, like, while I would say it's unlikely that Games Workshop is going to replace these anytime soon, I'm sure they will eventually replace them. Just like, for example, if you saw the rumor floating around about stuff coming next summer, one of the things on that list was plastic Space Marines, which, you know, if you look at those or not molds, but you look at castings from those molds, you know, it's probably starting to get time. Not only that, but I mean, it's always good to sort of keep things fresh and keep them new, and give people a reason to want to buy more cool Space Marines. So that would make sense. So anyway, that's about it for today's update. I am planning to do some ongoing updates on the Space Marine project as it continues, and of course, I still need to update the HeroClix map project. And that as soon as I get the map in here and get the car going, get it out of my car, which is where it is right now, then I can get to that. But in the meantime, I'm going to just do some assembly work, because I got a lot of assembly work to do. So that's all for now. I will talk to you all later, and thanks for continuing to watch.